Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll discuss some unique and interesting projects built on PCBs.
So let's get started. Number 13.
Our first project is a Pi computer with a mechanical keyboard powered by Raspberry Pi Pico and designed by Peter. He calls it MechSenger. It contains many retro video games for you to enjoy, but the best part is the backlit keyboard, giving you a PC gameplay-like experience. What's even more remarkable is the PCB on which all the components are soldered, making the project very thin. And to place the screen, he made a cutout in the PCB and protected it with a cover board. This solved two things for him. First, it kept the display firmly in its position, and second, it reduced the overall thickness of the project.
Number 12.
This board can convert any ordinary oven into a reflow oven. Yes, you heard that right. Made by maker Moikoi and powered by ESP32S2, this is one of the best projects we've seen so far. He took an ordinary oven, removed the oven's original control knobs, and replaced it with this custom-designed PCB board. The PCB includes sensor inputs, outputs, buzzers, and other SMD components. The OLED display and 3 push buttons give him the option to use the oven as a standalone device, but it can also be programmed to work with apps on your smartphone. He also added an acrylic glass over the control board that not only adds a layer of protection, but it enhances the oven's overall look.
Number 11.
Next, we have a macro keypad made by Salim. It contains 12 keys and 2 rotatory encoders that keep all his shortcut keys in one place. Instead of soldering the keys directly to the PCB, he placed them on the outer mount and soldered them from the other side. It increased the mechanical stability and reduced the stress on solder joints. At the bottom, he added RGB LEDs covered by a transparent plastic that scatters the light and gives the keypad a floating glow look. These keys are customizable, which means you can modify each one according to your needs.
Number 10.
This is a tracking system, or more precisely, a geofencing made using a GPS module. With this virtual fencing, we can track whether any objects outside or inside the boundary. The transmitter transmits the GPS coordinates of the target object to the receiver. Upon receiving, these coordinates are uploaded to the web server, which can be viewed by entering the web address. As this project uses LoRa modules, no internet connections required. Based on the target's location, the status gets updated in real time. To convert your project ideas into a high-quality PCB, you need an experienced manufacturer, and that's where NextPCB can help. With their top-quality standards and fast delivery time, they ensure that you get the best PCB at your doorstep. The ordering process is easy. Visit their website, upload your Gerber files, select the parameters according to your needs, select the shipping, pay the required amount, and you're good to go. Check the description for more details.
Number 9.
This PCB might look tiny, but it can control any IR device with the help of the internet. Techie SMS calls it the Universal IR Blaster, and it contains an ESP12 module along with some resistors and transistors. The 5 LEDs on the board are enough to transmit the signal in any direction and control a device, but if these are not sufficient, you can add 2 more LEDs to it. Before using it as a remote, you'll need to configure it with the Cadeo mobile application and assign the function of each button in the app.
Number 8.
Next on the list, we have a small arcade machine, TinyCade, based on the ATtiny85 microcontroller. It runs on a coin cell, which is enough to power an LED and a 0.96-inch OLED display. It comes pre-programmed with certain games that can be played with the 3 push buttons on the PCB, but it can be reprogrammed with other games. Uper tried to reprogram this board and uploaded different games on it. He also used it to display some text, and in the future version, he aims to add his self-made game to it.
Number 7.
Our next project is a gestured-controlled robot. It uses 2 RF nanoboards. This dev board is a clone that offers ATmega 328P and NRF24L01 wireless modules in a single package. One of them's connected to a gesture sensor that controls the robot and acts as the transmitter. The second one's connected to the robot car, which acts as a receiver. Both the circuits are made on custom PCBs to reduce the number of wires. This bot uses a track chain instead of wheels, which provides better traction.
Number 6.
Programming a microcontroller using ICSP headers can be difficult if they're soldered to a circuit board, or if it's placed in tight spaces. To solve this issue, Jeremy made a custom ICSP Pogo pin adapter for ATtiny85. It's not a one-of-a-kind jig kit, but what sets it apart from others is that it positions the ICSP connector in line with the Pogo pins. This makes it easy to determine where each pin is going and allows you to swap the single standoff screws to the other side if needed. This makes the ATtiny85 programming process simple.
Number 5.
This project's dedicated to every tech nerd out there, a clock that displays time in the binary number system. It's a great way to practice your programming and electronics skills. The project consists of a circular PCB with multiple LEDs soldered to it. The LEDs at the bottom represent hours, the LEDs in the middle section represent minutes, and the LEDs at the bottom represent seconds. The clock's powered by a Raspberry Pi Pico module soldered at the bottom.
Number 4.
This is a flexible PCB ball made of 100 LEDs, and watching it glow is a treat for the eyes. These LEDs are divided into 10 arms. Each LED on the ball is positioned by hand and soldered using a makeshift hot plate and a reflow gun. While making such PCBs, there are some rules to keep in mind, like not using traces with corners or edges, as they tend to crack when bent. The same goes for ground planes, which tend to break when flexed. The trickiest part that you might face would be soldering the arms of the bottom circle to the top one.
Number 3. Programming an ESP32Cam board is a bit of a tedious task because we have to press the reset button, which is provided on the back side of the board. To make this process easier, Techie SMS built this ESP32 programmer. We just need to insert the ESP32Cam into the programmer, connect it to the USB, upload the code, and voila! The ESP32Cam is programmed without the need to press the reset button. Apart from the ESP32Cam, we can also program other boards like ESP32 Chip and Arduino Pro Mini without removing or adding any components from the programmer. This board's compatible to work in 3.3V logic, as well as 5V logic. Number 2.
You might have used different displays in your project, but have you ever thought of stacking them together? Sean came up with the idea of making a 3-dimensional display using 10 transparent OLEDs, a custom-designed PCB, and a Feather microcontroller. He stacked all the displays together, which gives a regular 2D image and additional depth. You can also create your own custom 3D animations. With this project, Sean gives us a glimpse of what the future displays would look like.
Number 1. Running OpenCV on an ESP32Cam is not that easy, but by following this project, you can do it. The ESP32Cam captures the image and uses canny edge detection with the OpenCV library in real time. Once the code runs, the screen displays the TTGeo demo for 3 seconds. After that, RGB mode, grayscale mode, binarized mode, and edge mode are executed repeatedly. The canny edge detection requires the most computational power, hence the FPS of the displayed image is low, but on average, it displays the image with 6 frames per second. Drop a like and subscribe to our channel to keep supporting us. We'll be back with some great project ideas soon. Till then, goodbye!